My mom's a geologist, and when I was a kid she was constantly showing me various rocks, minerals, and fossils. By the time I was 5, I considered myself an expert, so when she showed me a simple gray rock I was unimpressed. But then we cracked it open with a rock hammer to reveal an interior full of glittering crystals. I was completely floored. In my 5-year-old brain, the only way to explain what I'd just seen was that it had to be magic. This semester, I've been working on an interactive art project to give other people the opportunity to shed adult expectations and experience that childlike wonder. My first step was to create cast glass crystal sculptures. I carved the positives out of beeswax, then cast plaster molds around them and steamed out the wax. I decided to use recycled glass to fill the molds because I would have less control over the results and be more surprised when I cracked them open after firing. While filling the molds with glass, I did so in a fairly random pattern in order to be more surprised by the outcome. Breaking open the molds after firing reminded me of the geode. I never knew what color or pattern or form would be inside the plaster exterior. It was during this process of unveiling that I started brainstorming the rest of the project, particularly how people would interact with these objects. I had been researching unusual cooking methods, as much of my practice is focused around food as the center of social interaction. I stumbled across an ancient cooking method of encasing meats and root vegetables in clay, then slow roasting over a fire. The clay dries and hardens while it's cooking, and then is cracked off the food to reveal a succulent and juicy meal. As you might imagine, I saw some parallels to my process of cracking the plaster off of the glass casts or cracking open the geode. This seemed like the perfect point of inspiration. I began researching. I practiced this method of cooking, being careful to select the most pure and food-safe clays. As I researched and practiced, my goal became clearer. I wanted to hold a dinner party where the guests had to break open warm lumps of clay to find their food. I also encased the glass crystal sculptures in the clay without telling any of the participants, so they would be delighted and surprised to find a piece of artwork in the place of a potato. I invited a few friends over for a practice dinner and was pleased with the results. The meat was very juicy after roasting for a couple of hours, and my friends were excited to crack open the clay to get to their meal. After one of them discovered that there were glass sculptures to be found, she got even more excited. After tweaking a few things in the process and recipes, I was ready. I began planning the main event and thinking about the location and audience. I wanted to host the dinner somewhere unexpected to lend an air of excitement and unpredictability to the event. I decided that the glass hot shop would be the perfect place, and I also decided to cook the food in glass kilns. The event itself was a huge success, and I couldn't be happier with the outcome. One of the participants said she hadn't had this much fun since she was a kid, and another one told me this was the most fun she'd ever had at a dinner party. They all loved the glass sculptures and gasped with excitement when the first one was unearthed. The frenzy of digging through the clay for food and glass was a lot of fun, and I think everybody left feeling a little more ready to embrace the little things that make life great.